Hi everyone and welcome to my top 5 all moments from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I'm Beatrice from Motorlata and today we'll go through 5 moments that were shocking and exciting at the same time from this wonderful race in the land of fire and action-packed races. So in P5 we have Kimi Raikkonen's unexpected recovery following the incident with Esteban Ocon. No one at that point was betting on his podium finish, let alone ahead of his teammate Sebastian Vettel. Because, let's face it, staying out of drama in Baku has never been a chore. But when Kimi Raikkonen was dropped to the very last positions when he pitted, was basically ruled out of the race by many people, but he pulled through and he managed to climb up through the field, because also the nature of the race came in aid to the Finn, because this race was basically designed to be an equalizer and normally favour the drivers who are actually not always getting the chance to end up on the podium and score points. So Kimi Raikkonen quickly became the underdog through that incident, and throughout the race he managed to escape and stay out of the drama, so he took advantage of the others in his own right. And it was a very big confidence boost, because this result was a bit of a payback after the recent dynamics within the team, where Sebastian Vettel was getting all the acknowledgement and Kimi Raikkonen felt like he was being pipped every time. So it was a very good breaking point for Kimi Raikkonen, and I really hope that in the remainder of the season he will get more chances to prove himself and get the acknowledgement he deserves. And talking about taking advantage of the others, we have, for my fourth all moment, Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc miraculous P6. So both drivers and both teams got a massive reward in terms of points and in terms of success, because both teams have been struggling a lot since the beginning of the season, and now we have Sergio Perez on the podium and Charles Leclerc in the top 10. So both results mean a lot for the drivers themselves and also for the teams, because that means money to actually develop their cars, and also they are allowing them to think about 2019 in a very positive way, at least at this point. So congratulations to both drivers, they did great. And in P3 we have a spectacular moment, and it was Fernando Alonso pitting on 2 wheels. I have been to Paris for Formula E, and I saw that Sam Bird finished the race on 3 wheels following a collision with Andre Lotterer, and Fernando Alonso probably heard of that and wanted to do better, so he crashed with Sergei Sirotkin, who was actually the author of a very, very controversial move. And Fernando Alonso wanted to finish the race at all costs, so he pitted and he managed to have a great control of the car. He was probably channeling his own Gilles, because we know that the legendary Gilles managed to do that to finish the race on a very disastrous and crippled car, and Fernando Alonso did that. He had amazing control to bring the car back to the pits and actually be involved in the race once again, and he also finished in 7th. Once again, McLaren is overscoring, because I do not feel like that is the real potential of the car, because they are disastrous in qualifying and then they make up for it during the race. But in the pecking order, McLaren is not where it wants to be. It still has many flaws, and I really hope that in Barcelona they will get a really good point of breakthrough, because they really need to turn things around. So far the updates have not worked, and next week we will discuss the Team Goss issue even more in depth. In P2 we have a very strange all moment, because it was in a negative way. Romain Grosjean crashed under the safety car. It was a very dramatic moment, and I feel like it was a rookie mistake, because he was trying to warm up the tyres and he ended up on the wall because he had locked his rear tyres, and it was a very, very stupid mistake, and it was very costly, because he managed to climb up to 6 and he blew once again his chance. Not if, as Melbourne had been enough as in terms of point losses. However, it was a very, very cheap mistake, and once again he owed a big, big apology to the team. Obviously Haas was going to be competitive, but during qualifying Romain Grosjean had a very hard time, and it was going to actually recover, but yesterday, due to that very, very stupid incident, he threw and binned his chances in just a matter of 2 seconds, which was very surprising to me. And also he tried to blame Ericsson, who was racing 50 or 60 meters behind, so I really don't get it. It was quite nonsensical. But moving on to even more nonsense, we have the internal crash between Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo, who once again did not score any points for the team. And although I agree with Niki Lauda saying that Max Verstappen has 70% of the fault, I feel like that was a very killer combination, because Daniel Ricciardo always does his move, trying to get the outside and then overtaking on the inside, and at the same time Max Verstappen moved on the braking, so that was a very awful combination. But at this point I would question the behaviour of the pit wall, because I think that Christian Horner missed out on this big time. He wants to get his drivers racing without any team orders, without any agreement, pre-race agreement, and that's actually wrong, because you see that they clash on the track, they lock horns every time they get close to. So you have to actually put some conditions. You have to talk to both drivers and say that they have to bring them back. But the team has not interfered in any way yesterday, and you could see the eloquent reaction on Adrian Newey's face, who was just taking his papers and going away, just saying, okay, they crashed, and he was moving, he was leaving the pit wall. So I think that Red Bull still needs to fix the situation properly. So I would not blame it on the drivers, even though they actually caused the zero. But at the same time, I think that they lack some organisation. So we will see, but I think that there will be some consequences, and this whole matter will be very, very juicy. So guys, let me know what you think about these Azerbaijan Grand Prix, because Baku never fails to disappoint, and we will see each other very soon next week discussing the main news, and then we will see in 2 weeks time for the Spanish Grand Prix. Bye guys!